Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to discuss some preliminary concepts of operating system process management, scheduling queues, schedulers, and context switch. The objective of multiprogramming operating system is to have some process running at all the times so as to maximize the CPU utilization. The objective of time-sharing system is to switch the CPU among processes so frequently that users can interact with each program while it is running. The objective of multiprogramming and time-sharing system I have discussed in one of my previous videos. So as a recap, we have mentioned the objective of these systems here. A process migrates between the various scheduling queues throughout its lifetime. The operating system must select, for scheduling purposes, the processes from these queues in some fashion. As processes enter the system, they are put into a job queue. This queue consists of all processes in the system. The processes that are residing in main memory and are ready and waiting to execute are kept on a list called ready queue. This queue is generally stored as a linked list. The operating system also has other queues. When a process is allocated to the CPU, it executes for a while and eventually quits, is interrupted, or waits for the occurrence of a particular event, such as the completion of an I/O request. The list of processes waiting for a particular I/O device is called a device queue. Each device has its own device queue. A common representation of process scheduling is a queuing diagram. A new process is initially put in the ready queue. It waits in the ready queue until it is selected for execution or it is dispatched to the CPU. Once the process is assigned to the CPU and is executing, one of several events may occur. The process could issue an I/O request and then be placed in an I/O queue. The predefined time slice of process execution may expire and the process will be deallocated from the CPU, and at the end it will be placed at the end of ready queue. The process could create a new sub-process and wait for its termination. The process could be removed forcibly from the CPU as a result of an interrupt or be put back in the ready queue. The process eventually switches from the waiting state to the ready state and is then put back in the ready queue. A process continues this cycle until it terminates, at which time it is removed from all queues and its PCB and resources are deallocated. As I have already mentioned, a process migrates between the various scheduling queues throughout its lifetime. The operating system must select, for scheduling purposes, processes from these different queues in some fashion. The selection process is carried out by different appropriate schedulers. I'll be discussing three different types of schedulers here: long-term scheduler or job scheduler, short-term scheduler or CPU scheduler, medium-term scheduler or swapper. The long-term scheduler or job scheduler selects processes from the pool and loads them into main memory for execution. The short-term scheduler or CPU scheduler selects from among the processes that are ready to execute and allocates the CPU to one of them. The primary distinction between these two schedulers is the frequency of their execution. The short-term scheduler must select a new process for the CPU frequently. The long-term scheduler may need to be invoked only when a process leaves the system. The long-term scheduler controls the degree of multiprogramming, that is, the number of processes residing in the memory at a point of time. The long-term scheduler must make a careful selection. In general, most processes can be described as either I/O bound or CPU bound. An I/O bound process spends more of its time doing I/O than it spends doing computations. A CPU bound process, on the other hand, generates I/O requests infrequently, using more of its time doing computation than an I/O bound process uses. The long-term scheduler should select a good process mix of I/O bound and CPU bound processes. If all processes are I/O bound, the ready queue will almost always be empty, and the short-term scheduler will have little to do. If all processes are CPU bound, the I/O waiting queue will almost always be empty. Devices will go unused, and again the system will be unbalanced. The system with the best performance will have a combination of CPU bound and I/O bound processes. The medium-term scheduler removes processes from memory. At some later time, the process can be introduced into memory and its execution can be continued where it left off. This scheme is called swapping. The process is swapped out and is later swapped in by the medium-term scheduler. Now I will be discussing regarding context switch. Switching the CPU to another process requires saving the state of the old process and loading the saved state for the new process. This task is known as context switch. The context of a process is represented in the PCB of a process. It includes the value of the CPU registers, the process state, memory management information, etc. When a context switch occurs, the kernel saves the context of the old process in its PCB and loads the saved context of the new process scheduled to run. Context switch time is a pure overhead because the system does no useful work while switching. This is the reference of my lecture. Thanks for watching.